here it is again, another day as usual at the garage. So I've done a lot of stuff that I actually should have put on the channel. Should have videotaped it, but I didn't. So I apologize right off the bat. You know, I'm bad at doing stuff like that. Well, yeah, this is what's going on. So took out the motor, took out the transmission. I'll tell you why here in a second. This past Saturday, I bought a 96 F150 4x4 with a blown head gasket. Or so, you know, the guy, that's what he said, that it did have a blown head gasket. That's a rotor motor that's in there. So the rotor motors came out in 94, like 94 and a half or something like that on up. And I need that rotor motor out of there. Not only am I going to build it up and replace the head gasket, but that's exactly what I was looking for. Thing right here that has no motor and no transmission right now. Only because two reasons. One, of course, like I said, I'm doing the swap. And the other reason is because I'm taking this T56 out and I'm going back to automatic. I know some of y'all might be like, boo, but this truck is gonna be my daily driver, and it is gonna, you know, have a little bit more horsepower than it has now, but it's gonna be my daily driver. So I don't want to be stuck in traffic for an hour or longer on my way to work and on my way back, because my job is about 45 minutes away, sometimes an hour depending on traffic. And yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. So this spaghetti of wires just came out of the F100. So I know I'm all over the place right now, jumping from the F150 to the F100, but I just finished taking out the spaghetti of wiring from the F100 because it needs all different wiring for the rotor motor. And so here it is, sitting in this truck. I don't want to change out all the wiring on this one, so there's just a couple pieces that I'm swapping out right now. This was the original engine that was in the F100. It's already transferred now. Just finished swapping out the distributor right here and just putting everything together. The only bad thing that I'm coming across is I actually tried to take off the manifolds from the original motor on this truck, and I already had 2 bolts break. So I just for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and run the stock manifolds on the F100. And of course, this thing now has my short tube headers, and it's gonna get my full exhaust really from the F100. So still working on my son's truck. My boys really like this one, so yeah. So I know there's a lot of jumbled wire, hoses and everything, but basically I'm connecting all the hoses for the heater core right here and for the throttle body. I have no idea why they would run coolant right next to the throttle body. I have no idea, but I will be connecting, of course, the wires for the cylinders. I already connected all this, all the vacuum lines. Still got to deal with the exhaust. I still gotta bolt the AC hose to the compressor itself and refill the lines, but that's later on. All right, so one dummy thing that I did do is, well, I found out after I did the motor swaps that the actual wiring is a little bit different. So, for example, the wiring for the throttle body was different as far as the throttle position sensor. Just a couple different things. This truck is running a crank sensor, and the other wiring didn't have the connection for the crank sensor. That's the whole reason why this truck didn't want to crank up as soon as I put mostly everything together. And so we're gonna go back and we're gonna take out this crank sensor and put it on this motor, and hopefully this truck cranks out. All right, it's really not hard to get off at all. It's basically where the pointer is for your timing marks. It's 2 bolts right next to the crank, of course, and there it sits right there. And let's see, that's, let me take an 8mm to take that one off. All right, here's both the balancers. This one doesn't have the crank sensor. This other one has the crank sensor. Of course, you have the 4 points that utilize the magnet on the sensor itself. All right, so I put everything together. I cranked up the truck. The truck did turn on without the crank sensor, so I was assuming that the truck did not turn on without the crank sensor, but it has. I guess the only thing that it senses is misfires. I guess that's what that's for. So, which kind of makes sense. But I got the truck to turn on. I'm probably like a tooth off with the distributor. I'm gonna have to reset that, but just for right now, I am gonna be working on the exhaust, and I need a 90-degree bend and a tubing. I know it looks pretty ugly right now, but this is what I got. So basically, I'm cutting sections out, and well, it wasn't exactly 90 degrees. I still gotta work on it a little bit, a couple more degrees. And I'm just gonna continue right here, and on this side, maybe this side a little bit more, for the 90-degree bend that I need from this. After I finish this, of course, I'm just gonna weld it up and put it on. All right, so basically all the exhaust is welded up, put together. I already put it on this truck, turned it on, sounding nice. Just maybe a tad bit too loud, so I might need to put some resonators on this thing and go from there, because it's, you know, my sons are going to be driving this truck, and you know, I don't want them coming home in this neighborhood with the real loud exhaust. So that's about it in this video. On the next video, I am going to be working on that motor right there, and that motor is going to be going back in the 67 F100 after swapping out really every gasket on that thing. But yeah, that'll be in the next video. See you on the next one.